Building codes and civil emergency plans are enforced to help prevent future disaster. The people of Mexico City know they're at risk from earthquakes. But millions of others live in striking distance of rare, mysterious quakes and don't even know it.
And we're moving closer to an even bigger quake, a potential scenario that will combine liquefaction, fire, and other deadly side effects in a brutal mega disaster.
San Francisco and Mexico City both fell victim to earthquakes spawned by the volatile boundaries between tectonic plates. Half the world's large cities are within striking distance of major faults like this, but the other half are not necessarily out of danger. There is a totally different type of earthquake. These rare rogue events strike seemingly from nowhere, ravaging areas thought to be immune to earthquakes. January 26 is India's Independence Day. But in 2001, the celebrations are forgotten when a massive earthquake strikes the western province of Gujarat. The 7.7 quake destroys the historic city of Bhuj, along with many other nearby towns and cities. 20,000 people are killed and 1 million homes lost or damaged. 200 villages are wiped from the map. Paul Bowden is a Memphis, Tennessee-based seismologist who traveled to India to study the quake.
What we saw was an immense amount of devastation. The human toll was incredible. It was a horrible place to actually be doing the work that we had to do.
For scientists like Bowden, the most stunning aspect of the quake is not the scale of the damage, but the fact that it occurred at all. According to the theory of plate tectonics, this earthquake should not have happened. Central Asia is no stranger to deadly quakes. Over 1 billion people live close to a massive tectonic collision as the Indian plate plows head-on into the rest of Asia. The Himalayas, the largest continental mountain range on Earth, are the crumpled wreckage of this collision. This volatile plate boundary has spawned numerous deadly earthquakes. The 2005 Kashmir quake killed almost 80,000 people in Pakistan and northern India. It was magnitude 7.6, not huge, but powerful enough to flatten hundreds of thousands of buildings. But Bhuj is 200 kilometers away from the dangerous Himalayan plate boundary. Large earthquakes shouldn't happen here.
But there's these rogue 5% that happen away from plate boundaries. And we don't have a very good understanding of what drives these kind of earthquakes.
These mysterious rogue disasters are called intraplate quakes. The 2001 Bhuj earthquake was an important opportunity to study one of these rare events. But Bowden and his team had a more urgent reason to travel from Memphis to India. The largest intraplate earthquakes in history happened right in their own backyard. In the winter of late 1811 and early 1812, the Midwest of the United States was torn apart by a swarm of massive earthquakes. They were probably bigger than any quake to hit California and are named after an ordinary town with an extraordinary secret, New Madrid. The magnitude of each can only be estimated, since seismic recording instruments didn't exist, but there is no doubt they were huge. The first, estimated at magnitude 8, hits on the 16th of December, 1811. Houses and buildings are torn apart, entire forests are wiped out. Enormous cracks split and tear the earth. The placid Mississippi becomes a raging torrent of rapids and waterfalls. But this was only the beginning. A month later, another giant quake, estimated at magnitude 8, tears the frontier town of New Madrid, Missouri, to pieces. 2 weeks after that, a third magnitude 8 quake strikes. Over the next 2 months, almost 2,000 smaller tremors strike. The effects are felt throughout the entire eastern half of the United States.
In New Madrid, in the middle of the plate, to have a large earthquake, a huge earthquake, is astounding. And then to follow it up with 2 other events that were as large or larger, just incredible.
This incredible series of earthquakes seems to have come from nowhere. This is the flat, stable center of the North American plate. It's supposed to be safe from large earthquakes. Reelfoot Lake, 24 kilometers from New Madrid, is famous for its fishing. But seismologist Roy Van Arsdale hasn't come for the largemouth bass. For him, Reelfoot holds the key to unlocking the mystery of the New Madrid quakes. 200 years ago, this lake didn't exist.
Well, this serene swamp and lake area was rocked severely during the winter of 1811-1812 in a series of 3 giant earthquakes. It was the third one in March that is responsible for the formation of this lake.
Reelfoot Lake's peaceful appearance is deceptive. Beneath its calm waters, scientists have made an earth-shattering discovery.
There's microseismic activity, meaning little earthquakes are occurring all the time out here. So there are seismometers planted in the landscape around us, measuring, recording these earthquakes.
Deep under Reelfoot Lake and New Madrid is a mysterious fault system that spawned the huge earthquakes of 1811-1812. It continues to generate small earthquakes today. But this discovery raises even more questions. If the New Madrid fault is not a plate boundary, then what is it? The answer to that lies far away in Ethiopia. This is part of Asia and Africa's Great Rift Valley, a fault system that stretches 4,800 kilometers from northern Syria to Mozambique. The earth here is splitting apart and bleeding molten rock. A tectonic plate is being torn in half and pushed apart, a process called rifting. 500 million years ago, this almost happened in the peaceful plains of the Midwest. A surge of magma spewed up from the molten interior of the Earth, eating through the crust beneath the ancient Midwest. But before the plate was completely split, the magma retreated, leaving behind vast cracks in the Earth's crust. As pressure builds up on this fault system, it's released as massive earthquakes. A similar failed rift has been found near the city of Bhuj in India. The buried rifts under Bhuj and New Madrid solved part of the mystery. But there are still many things scientists don't understand about intraplate earthquakes. They have no idea what triggers these rogue disasters or where they will strike next.
We really don't have a good working model for what drives these intraplate earthquakes. This is still quite the mystery in seismology, geology that a number of us are working on, and we just don't have an answer to that right now.